use the raised hand function for questions and maybe limit it to one or two, at least on the initial rounds, so we can work in everyone that has a question this morning. Well, the calendar still says May technically, but the schedule suggests that it's moving on to Detroit and the remaining 11 rounds of the 2026 NTT IndyCar Series Championship this weekend. A return to the Chevrolet Detroit Grand Prix presented by Lear. Coverage begins at 12:30 p.m. Eastern, again live on Fox. Some good vibes there, certainly for Santino Ferrucci. Last year, Santino finished second, his second top 10 on the downtown streets, and all of this after he comes off another top 10 at the Indianapolis 500 presented by Gainbridge. It was the eighth time he's finished in the top 10, doing so in all eight starts on the famed oval. So the goal, keep that momentum churning. And the driver of the number 14, Homes for our Troop Chevrolet, joins us ahead of his travel to the D. Santino, good stuff on Sunday. Thanks for doing this today. How easy or difficult is it to turn the page after what is really 3 weeks at Indianapolis Motor Speedway?
I feel like I've been packing my bus for the last 2 days, so quite entertaining. I've almost got it there. But yeah, I wish we had the week off, but we continue on into Detroit.
Yeah, and before you know it, we'll be in St. Louis after that. So the
Yeah.
season is in high gear, certainly. As mentioned, a podium at Detroit last year. That place is fast, demanding, concrete barriers. You know the drill. What was it about last year's race that maybe can carry over to this year for you?
Yeah, I think we had a pretty decent car, but we got lucky on strategy. I think we did a really good job with on that side of things, and that's kind of what propelled us up into the front. And hopefully this year we can bring a little bit more raw speed to Detroit. I think I struggled with the rear last year, and yeah, I think the engineering team's done a great job. We'll see what happens when we unload.
And again, we'll be there Friday morning, of course, the bullpen, and then practice later that afternoon. All right, open it up for questions. Again, if you have one, use the virtual raised hand function, just as Joey Barnes from motorsport.com has done. Joey, good morning and welcome.
Hey, good morning, Dave. Good morning, Santino.
Morning.
So I guess with that, I wanted to ask, you mentioned you kind of wish you had the week off. Obviously, we know about the 3 weeks that get put in, the long hours for the crews. We do a lot to, pump up the Indy 500 and it's the greatest race in the world, but it feels like we're so quick to turn the page. Maybe the winner doesn't get celebrated for an extended amount of time like he or she should. I just kind of share your thoughts on that, kind of expand on why you'd like to probably see us have the week off, why you wish you had the week off and we're not in the middle of a five in a row banger here.
Yeah, obviously not necessarily for me. It's tough to go into the shop and see the crews, that have been turning cars around, turn around more, cars to go to Detroit when you're having 4 a.m. starts nonstop. Um, yeah, I get that you want to ride the momentum as a series, but you also don't want to burn out your people that bring the cars to the track. So, being in a smaller team, I think, it's a little bit more difficult for us to instantly turn these things around. But no, I get the idea of the momentum. For me, it doesn't matter. I'm up in Indianapolis until post St. Louis, so I'm with the bus and the dogs. My wife flies in and out, and yeah, a little different schedule.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then just the last one out of me. Um, I mean, just the significance of extending the record at Indy. I know we're supposed to turn the page and go to Detroit, but I kind of wanted to just reflect a little bit on the magnitude of that. I mean, obviously, what you did, your name's going to be in the history books for that record. I know you want to have it in the record books 7 positions higher, but I just kind of share a little bit of the magnitude of that for you.
No, I think it just goes to show that I've been super consistent around the speedway. I think we struggled more than I would have liked on race day. I don't think, looking back at it, I wish I had done a little bit more traffic running because there's definitely points where I was happier with the car and points that I didn't feel as happy, and I wish I kind of keyed off of those a little bit more. And it's kind of amazing. 8 years here, you're still learning things. So yeah, it's we definitely came alive at the end. I got unfortunately a little held up on the second to last restart, which I think kind of killed our run for a top five. But proud of the team, proud of the effort. I also goes to show that having been here for 8 years, having driven in the top 10 with four different teams, the work ethic of all these teams to have a car that's also finished. So not only on my side, but on the team side, especially for AJ Foyt, we've put cars out there that we haven't had, knock on wood, any electronical engine something weird failure. I mean, we had something weird on Sunday, but it wasn't the end of the world. I couldn't get the car into first gear. Some weird electronical bug, but it didn't permit us from racing.
Yeah, Mecca. Thanks, bud, and best of luck the rest of the way.
Yeah, thank you, bro.
Thanks, Joey. He's back at the box. Archie O'Reilly, Divebot Motorsports. Great to see you in Indy. Hope you had safe travels. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was good, thank you. 13 hours of sleep last night, so nice and recovered from the jet lag. Santino, obviously now the picture shifts back to points and the championship. You're 15th in points, I believe. So I guess what do you kind of need to do to maybe regain the consistency that we saw, particularly in 2024, or I guess to repeat the kind of peaks that we saw in this period of last season as well? Kind of what do you need to regain?
Yeah, I think there's been a lot of change. I think with the crew, we're in a different crew this year. I think we've just been a little bit more unfortunate. If you look back at St. Pete, lap one, you're out. Arlington, it was on me. Barber went smooth. Phoenix was missed strategy, but we still finished 11th. Uh, Indy GP driving around with the rear floor and then getting punted doesn't help. I don't think we've not been consistent. I just think we've been unlucky. If you can tell me where to purchase some, I'm all ears. So that would be fantastic. But I'm just, I think that we'll hit our stride this year. I think Adam, my race engineer, has done a fantastic job. I mean, his first race as my full-time race engineer was actually Gateway last year. So this was his first 500 as a race engineer. And I think he did an amazing job. And I definitely know from experience that when you have an engineer that's their first race or their first 500 versus going into their next, it is drastically different. The amount that they learn and they gain is huge, and the momentum is huge. So I'm looking forward to definitely the second half this year. All these tracks that Adam and I had gone to that we can continue building off of our car. We really started to hit a stride, like you said, last year with some really high peaks, and I just think that we can make those better.
And obviously, I think you alluded in a previous answer to kind of the multiple teams you've driven for. Now, this is kind of getting deep into year four with AJ Foyt Racing. So, just talk a bit about, even if there have been some changes inside the team year to year, how much that stability is benefiting you after what was quite a volatile early kind of phase of your career, I guess.
Yeah, I can never thank Larry enough for what he's done for my career. I'm just thrilled to be here year after year. I do love driving for AJ Foyt. I do think that I have a long-term home here. I would like to start winning some races with these guys. I think that's really the next step. And we've been so close on so many different occasions. It's really hard to see what, when you're right there, it could be right in front of your eyes of what you're missing, or sometimes you just need a little bit of a breakthrough. But that is really the next step for me with this team.
Thank you. Thanks, Santino. Cheers, Dave.
Yeah,
It was good to see you all the last couple of weeks.
you too.
And same. Thanks, Archie. Let's go to also back in the box, David Turner from Racing World. Go ahead, David.
Yeah, not quite back in the box. I've made it as far as Chicago, so we'll call that a good start anyway. Detroit this weekend and then home from there. Santino, my question really kind of relating to the 500 is how difficult emotionally is it as a driver to come down from such a big event to the rest of the season, and the discipline and the change in the track from the oval to, the bumpy roads of Detroit this weekend?
I wouldn't say it's more of like an emotional come down. I think I'm much more fired up after Indy. and I think I proved that in Detroit more than I would like. Um, so I'm just super excited to get back out there. This place is emotionally draining and very hard, but I mean, it does instill a certain type of drive into you. And, not, being here and being close and being in the top 10 8 years in a row, you know, you almost want to punch something. But yeah, that drive that it instills, that's kind of the tricky bit, is because it's how do you control and how do you direct that passion into um, a productive gain for the team and for yourself. So that would be what we're looking for in Detroit. We had a great result there last year, which came kind of out of the blue. I'm really fired up with the engineers. I'm about to head over to the shop and make sure that we are all buttoned up. I've got my notebook right here. I'm ready to roll.
Well, we'll see you in Detroit. We don't have a Ferg burger for you this time round, but we've got some Kiwi
No,
chocolate. So we'll see you in a day or so's time and pass that over to you.
that sounds good. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. See you soon.
See you soon.
I'm doing the Australian Google Translate on whatever David just said. For
Yeah.
that, I'm kidding. All right. So we'll see you in Detroit, David. Thanks. Francesca, go ahead from the fastest sector.
Yeah, hi. So, Santino, my question for you would be related to the race in Detroit. So, going to a straight circuit like Detroit, where, overtaking can be kind of tricky, how do you, as a driver, balance, being aggressive to make up spots while also avoiding getting caught up in someone else's mistake?
I mean, I've kind of been on both sides of that coin. Um, Honestly, it's chance, whether you can predict what someone's going to do or not. Like I said, I've hit my fair share of people around that track, and I've been taken out there too. Um, it's a street course. It's got a lot of break zones, a lot of tight, slow corners. Yeah, you're just gonna hope that my I'm pretty sure that Max Pappas taught me this when we were go-karting as kids. He said, if you're going to hit someone, hit them square. So, yeah, we'll try not to use that advice. But yeah, just obviously you want to survive this weekend and, kind of get through it. I feel like if we get everything right, we'll definitely be fighting somewhere well in the top 10. And I've seen this race where I started 12th, got punted at the start, went back to last, took a drive through, and still finished ninth. So, I mean, anything can happen here.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you so much, then, Santino, and I wish you the best of luck for this week's race.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's crazy how that circuit's kind of evolved, and the passing numbers last year were pretty crazy at the end of the day. Let's go to Yash, Motor Culture. Go ahead, Yash.
Thanks, Dave. Hey, Sandy, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good too. Heading into Detroit, and considering that it's a street circuit and the streets can change over a year with the road cars going over it, and weather conditions as well. So, how many laps would you? I say it's actually a segue to a famous or infamous F1 question that was asked. How many laps does it take you to find the limit on a street circuit? Considering that the nature of those streets can change over a year.
Probably about 5 to 6 on this place. So you'll see a lot of drivers. We'll go out, we'll get the tires warm, and then we'll start pushing our brake zones. But it'll take us about 5 to 6 laps, maybe 7. It's also we set the pressures lower, so they take a little bit longer to come in. So the first run's always a little bit lengthier than the rest. After that, it's 3 to 4 lap stints. So, but yeah, no, it's unfortunately with Detroit, like you said, with the rough winters, you have no idea what pothole is going to show up. But the stormed grates are hopefully still in the same location.
Right. And like based on what you've seen from your team and your car so far this season, what are you expecting like your best tracks to be?
I'm
from the back?
expecting, yeah, I would say I'm expecting Road America to still be good for us. The rest of the ovals, I know we're testing at a few road courses, so I expect to have some pace there. Um, kind of my Achilles heels tracks are out of the way now, which is nice. So I really like the second half of this calendar. I think our biggest struggle weekend might be DC, but that might be the same. We're in the same boat for everybody there. So yeah, it's kind of funny. All my tough tracks are at the start of the year, so I go into everything that I like after this.
All right, thank you, Santino.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, let's go to Blake Bevins from 904 now. Blake, where are you from? Oh,
I am
you're
from. Can you hear me now? Yep.
yeah,
I'm from St. Augustine, Florida, but and I actually did make the drive from Indianapolis. It was a great view in the pit box, and that was my first
Sweet.
Indy 500. So,
that's
yeah,
great.
and then,
Go ahead,
then,
Miss
then
Santino.
and thank you. Yeah. I want your thoughts on the uniqueness of the Detroit Grand Prix circuit, which is the double pit box. Do you believe the double pit box helps you out like with strategy or race strategy or create better racing compared to like other street circuits that you experience on the IndyCar schedule?
Oh, of course. The one great thing about the double pit box is the pit distance.
Mm.
So like you don't lose time. Honestly, that's the worst part about our racing is our when we're trying to do fuel or tire races, when we have these long, slow pit lanes, especially on ovals. And like I said, I'm a huge proponent to this. I hate this dual stage limiter that we do. Drives me nuts. It puts you 2 laps down. If the yellow comes out the wrong time, your race is over. I think it deteriorates all the racing. The best thing that we've ever done is the dual sided pit lane. It is chaotic. It's hectic. It's still safe because it's so wide. It's short. You don't have to worry about losing a ton of time. Um, it was up to me, I'd probably go back to 60-mile-an-hour speed limits just about everywhere for that's a big track and 45 for the road or for the street courses. But unfortunately, almost stand alone in that opinion.
And do you or your crew have a preference on which side of the pit road that you like to work on?
I think the best side is for the fueler. That's what's kind of most important. So fueler's really good on the left side. So I mean that's kind of the side you're going to favor for the pit lane. It's just the easiest way. When you're a right-handed guy, it's just the easiest way to watch him come plug in. So that'd be the ideal scenario.
Yeah. All right, thanks, Anthony.
Yep.
All right, time for a couple more. Ellie Roddy from the fastest sector. Ellie, go ahead.
With um the 500, how does it feel to immediately move on from that track to Detroit? How does it reset you physically and mentally after the event?
Yeah, I would say you're going from a high mental stress race to a very physical race. It's kind of weird because like the cars, in my opinion, around the speedway are quite easy to drive. So I think, going into Detroit where your body gets a little bit more beat up before you get back into the swing of things is quite interesting. But no, mentally, you have 2, 3 days to rest and recover and kind of go through the emotion side of things and basically reset, which is nice.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, time for at least one follow-up. If anyone else has one, we'll take that too. We've got a little bit more time left. But Archie O'Reilly, back to you, bud.
Thank you. Santino, obviously back on a street course means we're back to the kind of one-shot fast six format in qualifying. So I just wanted your take on maybe some of the pros and cons there, whether it's something you like, think should be more widely adopted, just your thoughts on that.
Wouldn't say more widely adopted, but I think for street course racing, it's pretty cool. When they initially rolled it out, I was like, this could be really dumb. But after doing it and witnessing it, obviously, it's the way that they do it now, I think is pretty awesome. I think it's fun to watch for the fans. But yeah, I kind of like the one shot qualifier for the street courses. I think it's rather fair. It's not something I think you can do on the road courses just because the way the tires are and temperature buildup is so different. the street courses, the tires nice and soft, has degradation, all those things, which is really good. I wish we carried the same tires, street course to road course. It'd make it very fun.
Thanks again, guys. Cheers.
Good question, Archie. Thank you. All right, Luis Salinas from Deporte Motor Mexico. Go ahead, Luis.
Hello, everyone. Hola, hola, Dave. Hola, Santino from Monterrey, Mexico. Finally, is it clear the push to pass rule change? Finally, you understood all that modifications, all that changes. What was the dynamite question from Podcast 2 weeks ago?
Oh, yeah. The rule book is very unique here, say the least. I kind of always understood the push to pass rule. Yeah, I was one of the people that used it in Long Beach. No, I'm not mad about it. No, I still don't feel bad for, the other circumstances to which it was used previously. I think what IndyCar did was good. I think that change is easier for them to regulate. It's kind of funny to me how when the series makes a mistake like that, and I don't know, since a decade, since we've had push to pass, or everybody harps on it, and I kind of laugh, and it instantly negates a rule change. I don't know. I think mistakes happen. If they want to change the rules because the public opinion wants to see the rules changed, then we change the rules. It's totally fine. If it benefits the racing, then I'm all for it. If it hurt the racing, I'd probably be against it. But I think it benefits the starts and restarts. I think it either spaces out or puts people more together. I think we're going to find out in Detroit. I think for the road courses, it's a great thing. I think for the street courses, it's a mistake. But hey, we'll see.
Yeah. What need to do different to catch a best result than last year in Detroit?
I think we just need to unroll a little bit better with the car. I think we really struggled last year. I thought our race car was really good. We had terrible qualifying cars and fantastic race cars, which is mind-boggling to me. And then this year we focused so much on qualifying cars that I don't think our race cars have been quite as competitive. And working with my race engineer, we've been trying to understand that. A lot of it is the tire change too, year after year. Firestone always changes the tires, and I think we had a really happy race car, and if we could figure out how to get back to that, we'll be good.
Correcto. All the best this weekend, Santino. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dave.
Okay, thanks, Luis. Santino, that's it. You're in your motor coach. Are you driving up to Detroit in the motor coach?
I will be. I'll be leaving here shortly after this call. I might bring my truck back. I got to go over to engineering. Maybe I'll go pick up lunch at Working Man's Friend and then bounce up to Detroit.
You should pick up lunch for the crew because,
Yeah.
what they're going through right now. They're trying to help you out. They're trying to get you a win in Detroit. So be nice
That
to
is
them
true.
this week.
That's why I'm also going over. I don't know if they're there anymore. I think they might be home
Are
today.
I did see the
They
truck.
should have loaded up.
I did see the truck on 465. So
Yeah, I
there you
imagine
go.
they loaded up last night and left this morning. So I hope that they're all taking the day off and sleeping it off.
Hey, we'll go ahead and wrap it up from there. Santino, thank you so much. Safe travels. Drive safely, and we'll see you up in the Motor City, okay?
Can't wait. See you guys. Take care.
All right, thanks. And a very quick reminder, the video and transcripts from this news conference will be available very shortly on the IndyCar content site. Thanks, everyone, and have a great rest of your day.